some reason, you're listening to Hoppothetically. Enjoy.
This is Hoppothetically episode 20. Can you wear clothes? I don't want to do this kind of... We're not this kind of podcast, dude.
Guys like Bert Kreischer, every night they go on and take off their shirt. I think I wouldn't be able to do it. I think I would take off my shirt once and people wouldn't think I was about to start the party. They'd be like, whoa, dude, whoa. I think you either have to be fat or have abs, but this in the middle place, it's like the uncanny valley of torsos and stomachs. People are like, oh God, I don't know what this is. Because if it's fat, it's funny. If it's abs, it's sexy. In between, it's like, you're just a man. You're just an adult man I'm looking at now.
Or if you have a weird body issue.
Yeah.
I'm just like if you like a lot of psoriasis or something. I'm just pitching ideas. Like if you do a lot of psoriasis, like maybe on your belly button, people would be like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not just saying that because I have psoriasis on my belly button. But like,
you think if you took off your shirt in front of an audience, they would go, oh,
I'm working on it. People would see that I'm working on it, and then they'd be disgusted because they're like, why are you working on it if you weren't to take off your shirt? Can you do the ad read for this episode?
This episode's brought to you by the suicide hotline. You're going to kill yourself. Call us first.
Not us, them.
Right. No, call us. If you're going to kill yourself, call... You know what? Okay. Sorry. This episode's brought to you by the Suicide Hotline. If you call the Suicide Hotline and give them promo code Hoppothetically, the person will try 15% harder to make you not kill yourself if you give them promo code Hoppothetically. So that is Hoppothetically, Suicide Hotline, 555-SUICIDE. Does the Suicide Hotline have a thing?
Yeah. You could have just said the actual Suicide Hotline number. You don't.
What is it? Do you know it?
No, but you don't have to do you only do the 555. It's like a fake number. Why would you give people a fake suicide hotline number?
That'd be so fun. Some sad person listens to our podcast. They're like 555. How many? SUICIDE. Oh, that's 7. Yeah, that actually is the right amount of 555. Suicide could be a number.
Yeah, you're gonna
555.
Yeah, someone's gonna do it. They're gonna get nothing, and then they're just gonna be like, okay, this is it. I thought you originally, when you said to call us, they were gonna call. You were like, they're gonna call us, and then we're gonna decide if you go to the suicide hotline number or if we hang up.
We'll forward you, or we won't. Yeah, we're like the suicide operator. Yeah,
we ask you about your life. Like, what do you do for a living? Like, okay.
Could you imagine calling into the suicide hotline in like the 30s when it was telephone operators? They're like, hello, this is Darla. And you're like, oh my God, Darla, it's going so bad. And they're like, one moment, please. And then the switchboard doesn't work. And they're like, rats. I'll get you there in a second, sir. Thank you, Darla. Is Darla a name?
I don't know how the switchboard operators did it. The power they had, they could make you go anywhere. They have all, especially if you are on the suicide hotline number, you are in need. And you have all the power in that situation. Like you have life and death in your hands.
Hi, this is Grand Emperor Darla. Where can I send you and what can you do for me? Anyway, so you discover there's a prince who looks exactly like you. You are indistinguishable. And he comes to America. I really want to live as just a normal American, but I need someone to take over my spot as prince. But before that, I really want to fuck someone who looks just like me. And the only way I'll do this trade is if I get to fuck someone who looks just like me.
Do you have one that isn't just a straight rip from a BoJack Horseman episode, or this, other than the fucking part? This is an exact episode.
Yeah, they got that from. This is like a classic fairy tale motif. BoJack Horseman didn't come up with this.
No, they were the first. They were the first.
No, there's like a Lindsay Lohan movie from like the 90s that did this. Hilary Duff did this. There's a Lizzie McGuire movie where this happened. This is not a.
So you're saying you're very, very hacky then, not the other way around.
No,
I only had one example
because it's like a motif. I'm riffing on like it's like parodying a like a fairy tale or something. I mean, if I'm hacky, then so is BoJack Horseman because they did this, and so is everything. Every movie I've suggested took this from this like fairy tale motif.
Where you fuck yourself?
Do you want to answer? No, that's the part that I added. That's what makes me better than any of these people you've mentioned.
Okay, yeah, sure, man. You're great. What's the question again? I totally got lost.
Wants to trade places with you.
Yeah.
but you have to fuck him, and he looks just like you.
Will he ask to trade back?
You have to fuck back.
No. Like I'm worried what's gonna happen. The old bait and switch, where he fucks me and then he's like, switch back. I want to be Prince again. He's like, oh.
You know what I'd be afraid would happen is that you fuck him and then you switch, and then his country turns out is being attacked by some sort of terrorist cell, and then they take you hostage and kill you.
Or maybe they take you hostage and their leader is someone who looks exactly like you, who is like, I've always wanted to be king and switch places with them. But first, I have to fuck you. I have to do it all over again.
So there's two other people who look like you. They both really want to fuck you.
Yeah, and they all...
Do you eventually start to feel weird because you're like, should I want to fuck these people? I mean, would you feel bad that these people ran into you instead of each other? Because it would have been so perfect had they just met each other.
But I think the first guy wanted a commoner's life and the second guy wanted to be king. I think it's more like a one of those things where they try to trade up at a garage sale. You're just trading the last thing for the next thing. And like 8 fucks down the line, you're the president of the United States. Like, how else do you think Donald Trump?
By having sex with 7 other people who looked exactly like Donald Trump.
It was a really tough climb to the top.
What if the prince wants to fuck you, you fuck him, but you're so bad that he doesn't want to switch anymore? He's like, is this what it means to be an American? To fuck that lousily? No, thank you.
He's fucking me.
I'll go back to my country. But you're like, butt doesn't do the right thing.
No. The burden's on the top. The burden's always been on the top. Fuck that. He doesn't get to change the rules. I don't care.
He can change the rules.
No.
He makes the rules. Princes choose who's gay. It's like a sorting hat Harry Potter situation. That's why people say being gay is not a choice. And then quickly they say, unless you're the prince, the choice. It's not just a choice, it's a duty.
Do you think it's stressful when like the heir to the prince is like the prince is raising them? It's like one day you will have to decide. So he has to, as a kid, just start guessing to figure it out. Maybe like that group that sorts chicks by gender, where it's like, oh, if you just get like a good enough eye, you'll like see it in babies.
It's more like when you consider populations of animals, the prince looks at global demographic data and decides how many gay people there ought to be. They try to hit a certain percentage.
Would there be like the equivalent of meteorologists for this? They do weather and then they do just this other guy that comes on and just tells you the forecast. Like, today we're going to have 7 gay people. Would you do that as a job?
Yeah.
What's the qualifications? Like, why should we hire you?
I used to be a regular meteorologist, and I kept making this joke about how it was raining men from the song, and that's why I got fired. And I thought if anyone understood, it would be you fine folks.
We have too many of those people. Until we hired all of them.
That's the base. Of course you made that joke. That's why everyone gets in you. So would I
get fuck the prince? I don't think he's gonna wear a condom. I think he's too royal for that. So no.
But if he did wear a condom?
I think about it.
You can wear a dental dam in your butt if you want.
I know. I would rather. I actually never seen a dental dam.
You can put a tissue in your butt. How about that? Then we all know what we're talking about here. You can put
I get to do? Does he stop when the tissue breaks?
No.
God.
No, obviously not.
I don't think I'd do it. What if you didn't know what country he was?
That would be sexy. I'd be like, I wonder what country it's going to be. Ow, my butt.
And then he tells you the country, and you're like, fuck.
You don't know any countries.
You
Me?
Just got hired. Yeah, you. This one's about you. You just got hired as a time cop. They like protect the sanctity of the time stream or whatever.
Oh, so you're ripping something directly from Rick and Morty, but I can't.
No. I'm starting with a trope. And
so when you do it, it's a trope. But when I do it, it's hacky. What's your question? What's your genius time cop question?
Like, you became a time cop, right? And then you find out that 90% of protecting this time stream is stopping people from going back in time and killing Hitler.
I knew it was going to be all your things are like, what if a movie but Hitler?
Fine, pick
so you're saying I'm just as a time cop, most of my job is saving Hitler. I thought most of the time cop stuff though was like preventing paradoxes. Like, I would stop people from like having sex with themselves and like
doing that shit from Back to the Future, where they kind of end up fucking their moms most of the time.
You know what? That's how I would protect Hitler. I would realize that people either wanted to kill Hitler or they wanted to go have sex with their own moms. So as soon as they got to Hitler, who would I have next to me? Their mom. And hey, can I introduce you to Darla? It's Darla from the operating. It's her great grandson.
You think
here's Emperor Darla.
Do you think they would have like PSAs?
Telephone operator.
Do you think they'd have like PSAs where like Freud was wrong. You do not want to fuck your mother. Do not go back in time and fuck your mother.
What if it's Freud is a time traveler? Freud's a time cop. That's where he got this idea.
You just saw how when humanity got time machines, what they ended up doing with it, and just like, yeah, dude, yeah, like
they're
most of them.
They're like, Freud, this is a crazy theory. He's like, that is not a theory. That is a journal.
Yeah.
I am telling you what people do.
Like most people go back and fuck their moms. Nobody does. Everyone says they want to do the Hitler shit. And then they get like 20, 30, 40 years ago when their mom was in their prime. And suddenly their tune has changed.
Yeah. Freud's like, I called it the Oedipus complex to give it a theoretical sound to it, but everybody wants to fuck their mom. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's not academic. It's horrifying. I would do one pre-recorded message explaining why you can't kill Hitler.
Yeah.
And then in the machine, when you tried to kill Hitler, it would be, hi, I'm Nick. So you want to go kill Hitler. I get it. Everybody, you're great. You're great. And then I would explain why you can't.
Alternatively, I would hire a bunch of Hitler impersonators and spread them throughout all of Germany. I guess just baby Hitler, babies that look like baby Hitler.
I was going to say, I think a Hitler impersonator would be actually very expensive. Like how much how much money would it take you to dress up like Hitler and pretend to be Hitler? Just $1,000?
No, way more, dude. Someone takes a picture of that.
$10,000?
Enough to where if I lost my job for a long time, I could.
You'd still have that sweet Hitler money.
Yeah, I would need enough money. The problem is, I think here's the thing. I think people do it once and then they can't stop doing it because they're trapped in this career profession. Because once there's photos of you as Hitler out in the world, there's zero going back from that. You can't it's like being a porn star, being a professional Hitler person. You got like 10, 15 years, maybe at best.
Before you don't have that Hitler bod.
Yeah. And then, or like, what if you try to work on yourself? People are going to get so mad. Like no one wants a Hitler with abs. That feels like you're glorifying Hitler in a way people don't like. You have to stay kind of doughy. But I mean, if it's 90% of time cops works, you could probably get rid of most of the time cops police force and just keep hiring people to dress as Hitler, go back to 1920s Germany, and then just hang out there until they get shot. A lot of them will die.
You're not a nice time cop.
I mean, your job is mostly protecting the worst people in humanity.
And you're one of them. You have to protect yourself because people keep trying to come back and kill you or at least write you up. Cops don't often, they're pretty soft on their own.
And like the end of training day, a bunch of lookalike Hitlers will come and kill me at the end. That's how I go out.
Wow. I mean, that's artistic. That's an artistic. If you drew that and put it in a museum, people would be like, I don't know what this is saying, but this is saying something. If we have any fans, will someone draw that? Will someone draw like 20 buff Hitlers just beating the shit out of Nathan? Please draw that and then send it to me. All right. You're the owner of a humble flower shop. And a guy comes in every day and he says that he'd like to buy some flowers, but he keeps saying flowers really weird and he keeps winking at you. He goes, hi, I'm here for the flowers. What do you give him?
Weed.
He drops it and then he leaves and then he comes back.
He leaves and I chase him down with a bat and I take care of business.
He comes back the next day. No, you know what? Someone else comes back and they say, Rocco sent me. I'm here for the.
So you with? No, I think he would come in, do the weird winking thing, and I'd be like, "Are you one of his friends? Rocco's friends?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." And then a few guys would come out, and I'd have a pile of bodies on my hands. I don't know what I would go on the run. I don't know why that guy winked and asked for flowers, but I mean, my life's ruined. I have the blood of like 5 people on me. I have no idea why. I still couldn't figure out. Every time I tried giving them a different drug and it didn't work.
You would be at home that night and you'd ring on the doorbell and you'd open it and there would just be a bouquet of roses and it would say, looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow would be in quotes. Even they're saying tomorrow weird.
I think this would lead to a lot of bloodshed. I don't see how.
I see a way out.
What is it? I feel like this is a checkmate.
Yeah, I have the checkmate. I have the checkmate.
How do you win this situation? How do you
hand job this? Hand job. You give me a hand job.
What if he fights you on it? What if he's like, you did not want a hand job?
Everybody wants a hand job.
I think if you start trying to give people hand jobs and when they fight you on it, you go, everybody wants a hand job. I think
they pause for a second and they go, you know what? Everybody does want a hand job. And they lie on the floor on their back. You have to squat down.
You think you're gonna lose customers?
Yeah, but the customers you'll have will be diehards.
You'll also not be a flower shop anymore. You will have to pivot.
Well, it's like you would make. It's not traditional flowers. It's flowers in that you help them bloom. The customers are the flowers, and the foliage and the budding is, you know what it is.
You still charge flower rates?
Yeah. You would name each of the different kinds of hand jobs based on a flower. You're like, this one's called the rose, and you'd start going, and then it would be really hard, and you'd go, remember roses have thorns, and you'd fucking smack them around and pinch their nips.
Oh,
So that's how you would win this scenario. That's the difference between us. I'm for non-violence.
unless they're paying you for the rose.
That's not violence.
I hope all of your flower options are like the rose, the piranha plant. All of them are pretty violent.
There's the impatience, which is edging.
No, I got it.
Because they're called impatience, and so I edge, and they're like, "Come on," and I'm like, "No."
Is there
not
any
yet, Rocco?
Is there any flower that's just an actual? Like if somebody orders the daffodil, you just give them an actual daffodil?
If we were in stock, which we are probably are not. But if
Yeah.
they order the boxwood, you think about that. You think about what they're getting when they get the boxwood, which for the folks at home is a type of very hardy shrub. It does well in cold, but it doesn't like wet feet, which in the planting community means it doesn't like to be sitting in water too much.
I think it'd be more fun if all of them were regular plants except for one of them.
Just the rose is a hand job, and everything else.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, I'll get 3 tulips and a bunch of petunias, and I'll get a Japanese maple and 1 rose. And you're like, all right, let me bag all that up and hang on. Let me go wash up.
I think Valentine's Day would be really confusing. I think that would be
I think Valentine's Day would make more sense than ever. I think you go to the flower shop, you buy a rose. Then by the time you get home to see your girlfriend, you're like, I don't need you.
I think it'd go the other way where you're like, oh, we do delivery. And they're like, I'd like you to give 20 roses to my girlfriend. And you'd be like, oh, wow.
Good Lord.
God.
This is going to be a 5-day thing.
Yeah. And then they come home and they see you, I guess, fucking your girlfriend. And you're just like, or hand jobbing your
Handing job.
a handing job their girlfriend.
Handing
And
job your girlfriend.
And then they get mad at you and you're like, dude, you ordered the roses. This is what we do here.
You should have checked our website. We have pictures of all the things. It's just a bunch of flowers and then one like one adult man off jerking another man. Do not end sentence with a preposition. You do not jerk someone off. You off jerk them.
I was gonna do another bit. I don't want to do one now.
It's a tough one to follow.
No, just I hated the preposition thing. I'm going to paint you a word picture right now. Okay. So you're a
Wait,
boy.
can I paint you a word picture first?
You can't cut me off once I start.
I'm going to paint you a word picture.
This is
okay.
not
Starting from
impatience.
Starting from top left, red, then blue, then a little bit of gray. Now we're all the way at the right side of the frame. Now we're going to snake down.
How long was the gray?
Black.
How long was the gray, Nick?
The red was the longest, and then the gray. There was not a lot of blue. Now we're into green. There's green under the gray, and then there's kind of like a smudgy green, and then it's just the word anus written on the rest of the. It's just a bunch of random colors, and then the word anus, and that's my word painting. This has been Word Paintings with Nick.
Maybe the viewer should skip every 20th episode. Maybe that's the thing.
Sponsored by AA. You give us a call. We're drunk.
Woo! Good ad read. So I'm gonna start. So
wait, no, not we're drunk. You're drunk. What if that was AA's slogan? AA, you're fucking drunk.
What if they're just like, go to bed?
Go to bed, dude.
Go home, get in your car, drive home, go to bed. You're drunk.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
Okay, you are a boy in late high school, and the only way you can get out of your shell is through what you read. And she is a ray of sunshine, kind of fluttering her wings through life, and is able to strike a conversation with pretty much you two meet at a local bookstore. Okay, that's where you meet. And it starts out as a begrudging conversation, but it builds into so much. And she teaches you through this new relationship and the summer love. She teaches you how to love and how to kind of have a life and then how to take one. But as fast as she comes in, it also goes away just as fast. While she may have just been a flicker of light in the tapestry of your life, you will never forget that summer with her on the pier and the family of 5 you brutally murdered in cold blood. I guess just my question is, like, what does it all mean? Is there like a lesson to be had from this kind of young, fleeting love that's powerful yet goes away just as quick and that leaves a trail of blood in its wake? Or should we not really be like trying to find lessons in love? Should we just kind of take it as it is? Nick fucking left. Okay. Okay.
Oh, good. Sorry, can you say that again?
No.
Okay, so I spend the summer with a girl who teaches me how to murder, and we kill a family of 5. And also, I have a lot of trouble with similes, is what I'm like. There's a light in my tapestry. What does that mean? Does it have lights in the tapestry? Like,
Nick, I think it's
like,
more abstract than that.
Are there like
we shouldn't
light bulbs in the tapestry?
Maybe we shouldn't put such specificity on art, and we can just appreciate. I think the whole point of the fucking question was that maybe we shouldn't be looking so deeply at things and should just enjoy things for what they are. I think that was the premise of it.
Look, I'm not I'm not a romantic. I'm a pragmatist. So when I have a sexy or a meaningful encounter with someone, I put it in the spank bank and I masturbate to it until it is nothing to me. That's how you get over someone.
That's what you do with young, hot love.
That's how you get over anybody or any situation. You masturbate to it until the emotion goes away. So this woman leaves. Are the police after us, or is it how cold is this case, or are they on it?
Summer love. It's hot, dude. It's summer love. You're at the pier.
Are people looking for the murderers?
It's young, dude. It's young, hot summer love, dude. Everybody's looking for it. Everybody's looking for it, dude.
Right. But the murderers of the family, how much evidence is there? Because it doesn't sound like it was a fling. It sounds like she was trying to escape the law. And maybe I should have done the same. I'm confused why I didn't also flee.
There was a lot of learning, but there was a lot of growing, dude. That's a good question. You're asking really good questions.
It sounds like the police are on my trail and I'm like writing some acoustic song to commemorate our time together.
I mean, the question was kind of narration. So that's just kind of your inner monologue as you go from being a bookworm and you meet this pixie dream girl that gets you into the serial killing.
I think the question was more a demonstration of how to try to sound like a writer instead of just being a writer. Would you say that's a fair critique? Would you say that you suck and you're a piece of shit?
Yeah, but the question about the prince that fucks himself is
that was good. That was good. That was subverting tropes, as you would say.
Stop getting caught up in the details. I mean, like, did you murder a family of 5? Maybe. Did you get rid of all the evidence? No.
It'd be funny. You're like in the interrogation room, and they're like, "Did you kill that family of 5? What did you?" And you're just like fondly remembering. You're like, "Yeah." You know what else died was my adolescence. Was my boyhood. You know, they became dead, and I became a man. He's got a smile that it seems to me. This is me in the interrogation room. Reminds me of childhood memory. And they're like, what's your plea? Everything was great as a bright blue sky. Do you want your lawyer here? Now and then when I see your face. Sign that I read you the Miranda rights. Wow, 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 sweet love of my
If you just
do the guitar stuff.
Do you think if you just keep doing that over and over again, they'll be like, we actually can only hold you for 24 hours unless we have evidence. And then you give them a little evidence and you just keep going until they plead guilty to the crime.
No, it's clear that I'm going for an insanity plea. They're like, Your Honor, he's doing the guitar parts. I mean, clearly. And I'm like, wow, wow, wow.
Do you think if you did it good enough, the judge would just be like, I mean, he's on note. I'll hear him out. See what he has.
Right. Every time I take the stand, I just keep singing it. But I do still do the pledge. They're like, do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth? And so help you God. And I'm like, yes. This is my truth. Did I answer that sufficiently?
Sure, dude.
I mean, it had a musical interlude. That's cool.
I didn't like that part.
Really? I thought it was good. All right. You are a naked model for an art studio. And all the students are drawing you. You take a 5, which is fine. You throw on your silk robe and you start walking around and looking at everybody's paintings. The first student you realize has drawn you with a huge wiener that's like twice as big as your wiener. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. Then you go to the second one. This wiener is even bigger than the last one. It's like 3 times as big. And you realize every single student has drawn you with a ridiculously big wiener. Do you say anything? Maybe to the professor? Do you, or because what do you say? You go, hey, my wiener's not big. That like, what do you do?
I think you find a nice soft middle, like a middle of the road, and you're like, everyone that's above it, you're like, hey, my wiener's not that big, and then you go to the other half, and you're like, hey, come on.
No, everyone drew your wiener insanely big, except for one guy who drew you with a very, very small wiener.
Smaller than my wiener?
Way smaller. One guy gave you like a really bizarre chode,
at
and everyone else
minimum-
gave you a hog.
You have to at minimum talk to the kid who drew the small wiener, and you ask him if he's doing well in the class, and like, how are you doing? Like, do you think you're going to make it as an artist?
He's the
You
best.
go through. You did the best, other than the
He's
wiener thing?
he's a child prodigy. Also, he's a child.
And I exposed myself to him.
No, sorry, he's not a child. He's a midget.
I don't think. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think midget prodigy. It's just a prodigy. Then it's just a dude.
He's a midget. He's as talented as a tall person.
I think they're all as talented as tall people, Nick.
The prodigies are.
I'm not gonna do this. We're better than midget jokes. No, I would. And he did the best. Like everything else is way better except for my tiny penis.
Yeah, it's a stick penis. And everyone else did the opposite. They did a stick person with a massive, well-drawn, in perspective hog.
I would probably go to the professor and ask about if you only taught the penis lesson and just the stick guy is kind of the guy who did the stick penis just isn't getting it, or like what's going on?
Wait. What? Okay, wait. Alternately, what if you're in a different class and you go around and everyone is only drawing your penis and you're like, what is that? What? And they're like, it's a process. I got to start somewhere. Yeah. Penis, then you build. Once you get the penis down, everything else just follows naturally.
Everyone knows the first year of art school is called dick and balls for a reason.
Because you got to learn basic shapes.
You do
there's
dick and
circles
balls
and then there's dicks. A human body is 8 dicks tall. It's 5 dicks wide. Like you'd have dicks and balls.
Yeah, you see the sketch work? You know how they do that like light sketch work before they do like the full, before they start adding detail? The light sketch work is just like
it's the penises, yeah.
Yeah, it's just these really childish, like a bunch of 8-year-old penises.
Wait, when you say 8-year-old penis, do you mean
no? I mean
drawing skill of a of an 8-year-old, or do you mean an adult man rendering perfectly an 8-year-old's penis?
It's whatever
Which of those do you mean?
I mean,
which do you mean?
I mean, which art school did you go to?
I think we both know.
I think we both know which.
I think we both know.
What would the U.S. look like if the FBI started exclusively hiring canceled white dudes? Because they were the last remaining group that can't be blackmailed. Like to get a clearance, you have to first show that you had done something really homophobic or racist or something to get in.
You would get a call from the New York Times saying like, hey, we're writing this story about some old tweets. And then you would get a second call from some shadowy figure who'd say, I saw the old tweets. Meet me in Occoquan in an hour. And then your phone explodes.
I think 007 would be different. I don't think he'd be as charming.
That's what happened to Milo Yiannopoulos. Remember that guy? What happened to that guy?
Secret Service?
He's probably tailing Vladimir Putin somewhere. And Vladimir Putin's like, don't I know you from somewhere? What's a gay accent? No, you don't know me from nowhere, sir. Like that.
And the weird thing is, I think what people wouldn't talk about is that while Louis C.K. did win an Emmy.
Yeah, he also won the Presidential Medal of Freedom. For killing so many terrorists.
Yeah, they're like, my only credentials is that I'm a canceled comedian. And they're like, that is all we are looking for. I actually think people that want to join the FBI and the CIA and become like the next James Bond, they would start their career as an offensive stand-up and then work their way up to.
There'd be some just badass scenes with Louis where some terrorist is like, what are you going to jerk off in front of me? And then Louis just cracks his knuckles and he's like, you wish. And then he just beats the fuck out of them.
The worst part would be if you weren't canceled and you lied about it. You like doctored some tweets.
Yeah, no, I tweeted I said some pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah, and they were
just say I wouldn't want some people to see some things that I said. You wouldn't get any more specific than that because you're still worried you're going to get canceled. You're still playing by society's rules, and they'd go wag your dick in front of us right now, and you wouldn't be able to do it because you still want to work for NBC. You still want to get on SNL one day.
I mean, you also get to go on the Joe Rogan Experience, but that's the entrance interview, by the way.
Joe Rogan's the like chief. As soon as you go on Joe Rogan, then he sends you on a mission, like to the Ukraine at the end. He's like, yeah, woke culture. You really got to be careful. Free speech is really important. Now you're going to board the plane at 4 a.m. Bring nothing except your revolver. Make sure you don't wear your class ring. They'll be able to detect it.
Would you think society would be better? Like you would get rid of them. Everyone that wanted that person to get canceled, they'd be like, are they working anymore? And you're like, not to anyone's knowledge.
I don't think they exist anymore. We would literally cancel them and they don't have a social security number anymore, it seems.
I don't think people would feel the same way about SEAL 6 anymore, though. They're like, yeah, they killed Osama bin Laden, but they also all said the N-word. So like,
yeah, they're literally jumping off the chopper like, let's fuck these pussies.
With a security clearance, if you didn't know this, you have to re-up every like X number of years. Do you think you'd have to keep doing something? And for like top secret or something, you have to do some really fucked up shit. to keep getting it.
Right. And you have to like update your offensive stuff. You know, you can't use like 90s offensive stuff where you're saying tranny. Like they're like, no, that's too old. You got to be like currently offensive.
And you got to pick more modern groups. It does matter which group you're offensive to. It depends on how your clearance are. But if you want a higher clearance, you got to pick the cream of the crop.
No, if you're still like, if you're some old guy that's like razzing on the Italians or whatever, and they're like, no. You know how like Catholic priests did all this horrible stuff to kids?
Yeah.
But also the music is just so fucking good. The hymns are so fire. Can you separate the priests from the Psalms? Or when you hear Alleluia, are you like, I can't even rock out to this anymore?
I mean, it's a problem, especially with the music industry now. It's like if you want to break into the music industry and you want to start making good music, most people's base Christian hymns, like fundamentally. If you look at like Kendrick Lamar's work, like and really dig deep, you will find Joy to the World. Like you'll get there if you just dig deep enough and you look at enough levels of abstraction. That's his base. It's a really tough. I don't know what you do. It's been weighing on our society. Like, do we let these little boys get molested so that we can have art? And it's called the Michael Jackson conundrum, and we do not have an answer.
Do you think it would work if someone did throw like an EDM hook onto like hymns where it's like Jesus Christ has risen?
I think, what's that one part where they talk?
Rapping? Where they rap?
Oh my God, that'd be amazing for the homily. It's just a really 45-minute long.
All the homilies if all the homilies were raps. So Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I'm doing like 80s rap of Nazareth, didn't clean his brew when his parents said, bitch. I don't know. I'm sorry. Rhyming against Nazareth was tough. That'd be a really good movie if it was just a guy who wants to become a priest, but he won't stop rapping. Yeah. He's like, you guys just don't get it. It's like, no, we get it, but that's not the job. He's like, fuck you.
They're like, Mark, you have to stop rapping. You have to do like the homilies. And he's like, what do I do with the funky bunch? And they're like, dude, I don't know why you bring them every mass.
They can be altar boys. No, they're too funky for that.
Like, you got to stop calling yourself Marky Mark when you do sermons and then scream, here's the funky bunch. And then they come in. You have to read the Bible. At minimum, you have to read it. I don't think you're reading it.
Well, it doesn't rhyme. How am I supposed to read it if it doesn't rhyme? It's garbage.
Can't get any bars from Genesis.
You're doing great, Nathan. There's a lot of Nathan fans out there, I'm sure.
We shouldn't segregate. We shouldn't start a system where we segregate our fans by Nick or Nathan fans. People are like, oh, I'm a big fan of Hoppothetically. And we're like, no, you're not.
Who are you a fan of?
Yeah, you have to pick right now.
Yeah. Hoppothetically is a construct. What are you a fan of? And we teach people to see through the lies. Society is a construct.
Exactly.
You're allowed to fuck children. We have opinions like that. Consent. Statutory rape is a construct.
I think it would really muddy the who are you a fan of. I think if you start with who are you a fan of and you ended with there is no age of consent, I think people wouldn't hear the first part at all.
When you think about it, we're all just atoms. So you're really allowed to fuck anybody you want because it's just atoms colliding. You think this is a funny thing to say? Have you heard that thing about how like atoms never actually touch? There's always a tiny space between atoms.
Cut. No.
And that's why I don't make women come because we never touch.
Stop. I said cut. Fucking cut all of that. Was fuck atoms don't touch. Fuck, dude.
And that's why women don't come, but I do.
Where I'm going to give you movie titles and you're going to give me the pitch to the movie, okay? I have a few. First one is Day at the Museum.
Day at the Museum?
Day at the Museum. The end of the first one is everyone starts going to museum at night, and then you want to get in on that action because you're like, I bet they make a fuck ton of money with this awesome living museum. And you go there and we're like, we actually have all the night guards we need. You're going to be a day guard. And you go there and just nobody, I mean, now that there's a living part, nobody goes to the day. So you just kind of hang out. There's just a guy learning, like sitting around learning about, he maybe walks around, reads some exhibits.
What about Night at the Newseum? You know, the Newseum in the Smithsonian in DC, and you go up to the top floor and there's 9/11 happening all the time. And you're like, oh my God. Night at the Newseum is tragic. Night at the Holocaust Museum.
I don't think people would go to those.
This is not fun. Where's Teddy Roosevelt? I want to learn a lesson.
Okay.
That's a really funny movie pitch idea. Night at the Holocaust Museum.
The Holocaust Museum. This one should be a little shorter. It's syphilis follows instead of it follows.
So It Follows was an allegory for an STD, but you have just replaced it with an STD.
Yeah, what would that movie be?
I mean, I think it would just be like one or two sort of awkward phone calls and then a trip to the doctor, maybe some disappointed parents. The girl's walking down the street and she turns around to some old lady. She's like, "Are you fucking following me?" And the old lady's like, "Oh, sorry."
My pitch was, since it's a brain, it erodes your brain. I think if you just wait long enough with syphilis, it is the same plot as It Follows. I think you just give it enough time, syphilis becomes It Follows, just based on how, your brain will literally erode.
Does that guy still fuck his mom until he dies?
All of it's the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's still their naked dad on the roof.
Yeah. Just nobody nowadays lets syphilis get that far. But if you let syphilis get far enough, it just becomes It Follows. It wasn't an allegory at all. It was just, she got syphilis. That scene where she has sex with that guy, that next scene is like 2 years after the fact. They just don't tell you that.
All right. You got another one?
Yeah, I do. It's Final Urination. It's like Final Destination, but Final Urination.
Where you're just sitting there and a bunch of weird stuff starts happening all around you. You're like, "Oh my God, it's happening again." And then you just pee your pants.
Yeah.
And then it goes in order of the people that were supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a big line. So it starts, there's a big line to the bathroom. And then there's like but like they all somehow get to use the bathroom really fast, but they weren't supposed to. But they have a picture of it from the security camera. And so they're going to pee in the order that they were in line. Unless, of course, you can outrun it, then it skips you, and then the other person pees.
Yeah,
the only way to stop it is to pee in someone's mouth. Peeing in someone's mouth reverses it. It's like Uno rules.
Someone just like, death is just like, draw 4, bitch, and you just pee yourself 4 times in consequential order. I think the more interesting part about Final Urination is, like, those scenes where you see like death do these weird Ruth Goldberg machines. I would love to see the Ruth Goldberg machines that make people pee themselves.
I think it's a Rube Goldberg machine.
Sure, either way, it doesn't matter. But
I would love a woman Goldberg machine. It's just a bunch of tampons falling onto other tampons, falling onto lipstick, onto small dogs and purses, and then it makes breakfast.
No, but it would be like a bunch of things happen, and then a glass of water pours in your mouth, and he's just like, "I got you." In a few hours, you're like,
"No, I'm hydrated again."
That's the whole thing.
All right. Well, Hoppothetically episode 20. To those of you who have been listening, thank you. To those of you who have not been listening, thank you more.